You know, it didn't start off rough for every Republican when Donald Trump rode down the golden escalator. But let's be real, for most of you, especially Gretchen, it was instant revulsion. We remember. You looked at him like he was something scraped off the bottom of a Michigan snowplow. A little gaudy, a little loud, and a whole lot of not your type. But just like Bananarama and Tabasco sauce, after a while, he kind of grows on you. And let's not pretend. In the beginning, you loathed him. Full-blown political gag reflex. I mean, you delivered your own personal rebuttal after his State of the Union. And we watched, cautiously, impressed. An attractive Democrat who could actually speak a full sentence without screaming about late-term abortions or misgendering her own reflection. You even knew what a woman was. It was kind of confusing. For us, for a brief, flickering moment, you seemed like maybe the real deal. Well, then COVID hit. The mask came off, and we met the real Fraulein, Whitmer. Stern, smug, and suddenly obsessed with lockdowns like they were some sort of love language. You took to the airwaves like Cruella to a Dalmatian rescue. You trashed Trump every chance you got. Made sure to paint yourself as the anti-Trumper, the rational one, the controlled one.
He says that's because it will be back to the states where it belongs. What's your response?
That's just ludicrous. I think, this guy just doesn't understand what the average woman is confronting in her life in this country. And how could he? He's not lived a normal life, unlike Kamala Harris, who has worked hourly jobs, who knows how important it is that women have health care and access to the medical care that they need. And so he's just deranged.
But behind all of that righteous fury, something else was happening. Something you didn't expect. Something none of us did. A tale as old as time. A song as old as rhyme. Beauty and the Beast. No, Trump doesn't fit the classic fairy tale mold. He's brash, loud, occasionally orange. But beneath the roar, Gretchen, you started to hear the music. You began to waver, to soften, to nod, just a little, especially at his tariff proposals.
I understand the motivation behind the tariffs. And I can tell you, here's where President Trump and I do agree. We do need to make more stuff in America. More cars and chips, more steel and ships. We do need fair trade.
When the mob raised their pitchforks and screamed, "Kill the beast!" you paused. You hesitated. You didn't join the mob. You questioned them. And for a moment, just a fleeting moment, you saw something in him. Strength, decisiveness, leadership. Then came the Chinese carp, those annoying little fishies. And suddenly, your blue binders didn't have the answer. You were cornered and unsure. The townsfolk were restless. And Trump? He didn't gloat. He didn't mock. He handed you the microphone. He gave you the spotlight.
Has this gotten into any of the other lakes yet? Because you would think it would be pretty easy because they're all sort of connected. Governor?
It's why we're working so hard to make sure that, we work with the Army Corps and erect a barrier so that the Asian carp can't get into Lake Michigan. It'll devastate the ecosystem, the economy, tourism, and it's 20% of the world's fresh water is in the Great Lakes, Mr. President, which is why it's so important that as a nation we protect the pristine waters. Yep.
He pulled you into the ballroom and let you lead during the dance, because that's what the beast does when he's trying to show you he's so much more than a monster. And finally, your wish, the F-15X jets at Selfridge Air Base, a Michigan dream. And who granted it? Not your own party, not Joe, what state am I in, Biden. No, it was the beast. But this time, when he offered it, he wasn't the beast anymore. The curse was breaking. As he held out the approval like a single glowing rose, you took it, slowly, carefully. And when your fingers touched his, the entire country saw it.
I hadn't planned to speak, but I'm on behalf of all the military men and women who serve our country and serve so honorably on behalf of the state of Michigan. I am really.
Then came the hug. Oh, a brief embrace, but to those of us watching, it was the dance. Trump, the towering figure, you and your signature blue. And somewhere in the background, it was as if Celine Dion herself was singing. And there we were, America, standing in the corner as Lumiere, Cogsworth, and Mrs. Potts watching the enchantment unfold. A moment frozen in time. Even the candlestick wept. And just like that, the beast became the prince. He even let you stand beside him, gave you the moment, the dignity, the praise. Because Trump doesn't need to hoard the credit. He just wants to win. And when you win, he smiles too. That's the Trump we know. And now you know him too. So, happily ever after? Maybe not. But it shows us something for sure. Even the most polished wicked witch in the forest can stumble onto true love when she least expects it. We understand Gretchen, we really, really do. We love him too. Folks, May 16th, 7 o'clock, Roseanne Barr, Laura Logan, Chris Tonto Peranto, live on the Don't Unfriend Me Show, a special 5-hour night. Be there, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you tonight at 7. Good night.